Dear students, very good morning. Today we are going to start another topic. This is chapter number 4 from our textbook Flamingo. Our topic is Indigo. Let us know about the author. Who is the author of this lesson, Indigo? Louis Fisher, 1996-1970, was born in Philadelphia. He served as a volunteer in the British Army between 1918 and 1920. Fisher made a career as a journalist and wrote for the New York Times and Saturday Review and for European and Asian publications. He was also a member of the faculty of Princeton University. The following is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. The book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by Times Educational Supplement. The students, the author is Louis Fisher is not an ordinary person. He's a well-known writer. He's born in 1896 and he died 1970. His birthplace is Philadelphia, and he served as a volunteer in British Army between 1980 and 1920. As far as his career was concerned, he started his career as a journalist, and he wrote for the famous the New York Times and the Saturday Review. And he also, besides this, he also worked for some well-known European and Asian publications. He was also a member of Princeton University. And as far this excerpt is concerned, Indigo excerpt is concerned, it is taken from the life of Mahatma or the life of Mahatma Gandhi. This book is written by the writer Louis Fisher, and this book is considered as the best books ever written on Gandhi's life. थोड़ा उर्दू में आपके लिए बता दूं, 1896 में लुई फिशर पैदा हुए और 1970 तक ये जिंदा रहे. आप फिलाडेल्फिया आपकी बर्थ प्लेस थी और इसने एज ए वॉलंटियर ब्रिटिश आर्मी में काम कर दिया 1918 से 1920 तक. फिशर जो थे उसने अपना कैरियर एज ए जर्नलिस्ट शुरू कर दिया. उसने न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स के भी लिए लिखा और उसने सैटरडे रिव्यू के लिए भी लिखा. इसके अलावा उसने कुछ मशहूर मारूफ जो यूरोपियन और एशियन पब्लिकेशंस में भी थी उनके लिए भी उसने अपना हाथ बढ़ाया, यानी कुछ न कुछ उन्होंने उनके लिए भी लिखा. और इसके अलावा ये प्रिंसटन यूनिवर्सिटी के फैकल्टी मेंबर भी रह चुके हैं. जहाँ तक इस इक़्तिबास का ताल्लुक़ है जो इंडिगो के टाइटल से हमारी बुक में दिया गया है, ये महात्मा गांधी के मुतल्लिक लिखी गई किताब जो लुई फिशर ने लिखी है, जिसका नाम है द लाइफ ऑफ महात्मा गांधी, उसी से लिया गया है। और जहाँ तक इस किताब का ताल्लुक़ है, द लाइफ ऑफ महात्मा गांधी का ताल्लुक़ है, ये किताब द टाइम्स एजुकेशनल सप्लीमेंट ने इसको गांधी की ज़िंदगी के पर बेहतरीन किताबों में से एक किताब समझी जाती है। नाउ व्हाई द टाइटल? Why is the title Indigo given to this extract or excerpt, which is taken from the life of Mahatma Gandhi? Actually, this title is given because it clarifies how Gandhi struggled for the poor peasants of Champaran. Champaran is a place in Bihar. Though in those times when Gandhi used to work for the Indian independence or the independence of India, the peasants worked as sharecroppers with British planters, and there was an agreement. According to this agreement, they had to produce indigo on 15% of the land and surrender it as a rent to the landlords. यानी जो हिंदुस्तानी किसान थे, चंपारण के किसान थे, इनको अपनी जो जिस ज़मीन पर वो खेती कर रहे थे उनका 25% जो था इस पे इंडिगो उगाना था और इसको एज ए रेंट इनको सरेंडर करना था, यानी इनको हवाले करना था लैंडलॉर्ड्स को। एंड बाय द 1917 a well-known German company developed synthetic indigo, and British planters now no longer wanted the indigo crop, and what they did after this was not acceptable to the parents who were educated, who were aware about their future, and in order to release the peasants from the 15% of the agreement, they demanded compensation from them. And some peasants who were illiterate or who were weak, who were not mentally and educationally strong, they agreed, but the others refused to pay. And what they did, they engaged some lawyers to go to the court and fight for them. And in those days, Gandhiji appeared in Champaran. He fought for the poor peasants, and finally he appeared a success. He taught the peasants of self-reliance, and this struggle proved a step forward in the struggle for Indian independence. यानी जो कुछ किसानों ने वहाँ पे इनकार कर दिया था ये कंपनसेशन पे करने के लिए, जो बड़े एजुकेटेड थे, जो अपने हुकूक के मुतालिक बिल्कुल जानते थे, उन्होंने कुछ लॉयर्स को, कुछ वकला को इंगेज कर दिया, उनको कोर्ट में भेज दिया अपने इस लड़ाई को लड़ने के लिए। लेकिन इसी दौरान गांधी जी भी वहाँ चंपारण में नमूदार हुए और गांधी जी ने भी बढ़ चढ़कर इसमें हिस्सा ले लिया इस लड़ाई में। और फाइनली जो इसका रिजल्ट था वो गांधी जी और किसानों के हक में गया। और ये एक कदम कहलाया गया कि ये हिंदुस्तान की आज़ादी के लिए एक पहला कदम था जिसमें उन्हें कामयाबी अता हुई। Now let's see some expressions. These are given on page number 46. Urge the departure. Harbor a man like me. Conflict of duties. Seek a prop. I think it is very earlier to conclude their meanings. Let's first go to the lesson. When I first visited Gandhiji in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, "I will tell you how it happened, and that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1970. These are the words from the writer. The writer says that when he visited Gandhiji in 1942, and Gandhiji was at his ashram. The ashram was in Sevagram, and the Sevagram is located in central India. And Gandhiji said, "I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British." Perhaps the question was asked to Gandhiji, how it happened that you succeeded in pushing out the Britishers from the land of India, and you achieved your freedom. You were succeeded in the struggle of freedom. The Gandhiji's response was that it happened that how and why it happened that I urged the departure of British. Urge means I tried hard to persuade British to leave India. It was in 1970. गांधी जी कह रहे हैं कि जब उनसे ये सवाल किया गया कि ये कैसे मुमकिन हुआ कि आपने हिंदुस्तान की आज़ादी की जद्दोजहद में ब्रिटिशर्स को ये मानने पर मजबूर कर दिया कि वो इनको हिंदुस्तान छोड़ना चाहिए, तो गांधी जी का ये जवाब था कि मैं आपको ये बता दूं कि मैंने कब जोर लगाया, मैंने कब ब्रिटिशर्स को ये कहा कि आपको हिंदुस्तान छोड़ना चाहिए। ये ज़माना था 1917 का। He had gone to December 1917 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors. During the proceedings, Gandhi recounted, "A peasant came up to me looking like any other peasants in India, poor and emaciated, and said, 'I am Rajkumar Shukla.'" And Gandhi narrated very interesting incident at that time when when the writer asked him a question, and it was December 1916 when convention of the Indian National Congress Party was held in Lucknow, and there were 2,301 delegates or representatives, and besides those representatives, there were some visitors. They were also present in the convention, but the proceedings during the proceedings Gandhi recounted, and what happened there, the Gandhi recounted means Gandhi recollected, Gandhi ji ko yaad aa raha hai. There was a peasant, there came a peasant up to me. एक किसान गांधी जी के पास आया, and he was no more different from other peasants of India. He was looking very poor, he was looking very weak, he was looking very thin, lean and emaciated. Means from every corner he was looking very dejected and depressed. And what the peasant told Gandhiji when he approached him, this actually Gandhiji narrates to the writer, narrates to Louis Fisher when he responds some questions which Gandhiji was asked to reply. And during this narrative, the Gandhiji tells the event, or he tells about the developments which had taken place between the Rajkumar Shukla, the peasant, and the Gandhiji himself. And Gandhiji had the peasant had introduced it to Gandhiji like this: I am Rajkumar Shukla, I am from Champaran, and I want you to come to my district. Gandhiji had never heard of the place. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. राजकुमार इस पीजेंट ने अपने आप को ऐसे इंट्रोड्यूस कराया गांधी जी से। उसने उसे कहा था कि मैं राजकुमार शुक्ला हूँ और चंपारण का रहने वाला हूँ, और मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप यानी गांधी जी उसके डिस्ट्रिक्ट का दौरा करें, उसके डिस्ट्रिक्ट में आएं। और गांधी जी ने इस प्लेस के, इस चंपारण के बारे में कभी उसका नाम तक भी नहीं सुना था। और ये जगह वाक़ा थी ऊंचे हिमालयाओं के दामन में, और ये नेपाल के किंगडम के नज़दीक वाक़ा थी। Under an ancient agreement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. He was illiterate but resolute. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. And what was the problem there? The problem was there that there was an agreement between the peasants and the landlords. The peasants have not their own land. Actually, they were the sharecroppers. The all land belonged to the landlords. And Rajkumar Shukla was one of the peasants. He was illiterate, but he was resolute. Resolute means he was determined. यानी पक्के इरादे का बंदा था. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord in Bihar. And he has resolute. This move speaks his determination. He was determined. He was a man of resolute. पक्के इरादे का होना, ये सेंटेंस उसके बारे में कहता था कि कहाँ बिहार और कहाँ लखनऊ वो वहाँ से आया था, और अपनी बात जो इनके साथ नाइंसाफ़ी हो रही थी, इस बात को वो रखना चाहता था कांग्रेस सेशन में डेलीगेट्स के सामने। And somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. Perhaps he has not come of his own, this was not his own idea. Perhaps somebody has told him that you must go and speak about your problems to Gandhi. That's why it had happened. He had come to this session. Gandhi told Shukla he had an important appointment in the Kavanpur and was about also committed to go to other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. The Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram. For weeks he never left Gandhi's side. It means that wherever Gandhi visits, Shukla followed him. It also indicates that it became a fan of Gandhi. He loved Gandhi and he loved to become the part of Gandhi's struggle. Gandhi told Shukla that he had an appointment. Gandhi ने उसे बताया कि उसका वक्त लगा हुआ है. उसने अपने जो दौरे हैं इनका तयन पहले ही कर चुका है. कानपुर में उसका program and was committed to go other parts of the India, and he was committed to visit other parts of the India, whether it is Bihar, Champaran or any place where his services were needed. Shukla accompanied him everywhere, but wherever Gandhi wherever Gandhi visited, the Shukla followed him. जहाँ पर भी गांधी जी गए, शुक्ला उसके पीछे उसी प्रोसेशन के साथ चले गए. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad, and after all these appointments, in the end Gandhi returned to Ahmedabad to his ashram. Shukla followed him there also, and for weeks he never left Gandhi's side, and for weeks he was with Gandhi's side, and he never take leave from Gandhiji. And finally he asked Gandhiji to fix the date when he is going to visit Champaran. That's it. I think this enough for today. Thank you very much.